Good morning, Remy.
Good morning, Breck.
I kind of feel like a hot mess this morning. My my hair is uber gray. I need to dye it. I've got something going on with my eyes. I think I got eyelashes in them or allergies still. I'm crying, half crying. I kind of feel like a mess this morning. Not gonna lie. Hair on my lips.
I spilled a whole cup of coffee on my keyboard.
Good night. Good night. Well, this is a big week.
Yeah, I leave in about an hour and a half to go.
Vegas.
Yeah, run around for 5, 6, a lot of days. A lot of days.
It'll be fun. We're leaving tomorrow. And yes, I'm looking forward to it.
It's gonna be a good.
Um, yeah. Is it hot there?
Yeah, it's real hot, and I'm now sweating, and I don't know why because it's not actually that cold. I mean, I have a sweatshirt on. I was
We are
outside.
a mess this morning.
I just I'm
My
a mess
goodness.
every morning. No, it's like it's hot in this office, but
Um, it has been well, it was 100 here yesterday. It's going to be 100 here today, but I'm not saying that I want to stay through the summer and see how that would be. However, it's not bad. Like we get up early, we work our horses. Yesterday we worked till about noon outside, and then we were inside until chore time, which chore time is 4:30. We go back outside, and kind of by the time we're done choring by 5:30, it's starting to cool down, and you can ride some more horses. So I don't feel like it's. I feel like I could do it.
yeah, I mean, we do the same thing in the summer. We actually don't get that hot till like our hottest days. It doesn't get hot till like 11:30. So we do the
Yeah,
same thing.
that's kind of the way I felt. I mean, like by noon, it was pretty warm, but we were wrapping up, so it was all good. But go inside, have a little lunch, do a little work inside, and then go back out in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Not a bad deal. So
Yeah, it was 90. It was 90 here yesterday, which is actually not that hot. But when it goes from 50 to 90,
it's
little
hot.
warm, little warm. I needed time to adjust, but it. I say this every spring. I'm like, could we just have like a month or two where it's just nice and not from cold to hot? But it's supposed to be like
How
56 on like Thursday and then back up to 80. So good
yeah,
times.
lots of swings in the weather this year. How was your Easter?
Um,
Eventful.
eventful. I had planned on sleeping in because my boys were all at my dad's house, and then I got a phone call at I don't know, like 10, saying that your son thinks he broke his arm, and I was like, okay. I said, which one? And he goes, T, who's like really really tough, and I can hear him screaming in the background, and I'm like, he's like, but my dad's like, I don't think it's broken. I was like, that kid never acts like anything hurts him, so I'll meet you at the hospital. And met him at the hospital. We thought it was his wrist. We went to go get an x-ray. They went to roll his arm, and then I pulled his sleeve up, and it was his elbow. So he broke the bottom of the humerus right above the elbow. And so we dealt with that.
In a
And then
go karting accident.
in a go-karting accident with a 3-point harness on, but he flipped it. I didn't know that you could flip go-karts because they're so low to the ground. But
You can.
if some if someone's gonna break some stuff, it'll be my kids. So, and we went back down, finished the Easter egg hunt. He wanted to go on the bouncy house, so I made everyone get out of the bouncy house so he could walk around in it. And then he watched his brothers drive the go kart still, and was very upset that he couldn't drive the go karts. So, and then on Saturday we had a clinic in Jackpot at another venue, and we had a lot of people. I had a lot of newbies, so James and I split up into two pens. And it is so much fun to teach people that have not really ranch sorted how to sort. So it was a good time. It was a very good
That's
time.
fun. I love that. I love doing that too. That was fun. We what did we do? It was pretty low key this weekend. We actually went to a cutting on Friday. Brandon showed in that. That was good. And then we had a little neighborhood barbecue, roping. So the boys and Brandon roped and we barbecued on Saturday, and then
So I'm flipping.
Sunday.
I was listening. I
What?
was just flipping over my keyboard to drain more coffee out of it.
Oh, no problem. Um, and then Sunday was Easter, and my kids are a little older than you are, so it's like the traditions of all of the eggs and the dyeing and all that have kind of gone away, which kind of stinks.
I love dyeing eggs. So do my kids, but they did that on Saturday at
I do
my
too.
at my dad's. So I still have the egg dye here. Maybe we'll dye eggs another day. I don't know. And so then we had
Dude,
baseball
it's
last.
4th of July.
What you looking at? I had we had baseball last night. T was very upset to not play. And Braden had broken his collarbone last year during baseball season. I was like, if you guys could just make it through like one season without being broken, it would be fantastic.
Great. Well, you know, we can never do anything in our lives. It is like for sure until we're actually in the truck heading there, or yeah, that's pretty much the only way we know something's actually happening. So it kind of sounds like sort of maybe kind of we're not really sure that me and the kids might be heading home from Vegas, but it's dependent upon somebody else being able to help me drive. So we're leaving for Vegas in the morning, and
Bodie's tall enough to reach the pedals.
I know, God, Remy, I don't. I'm
Just hit the desert, and he can't hit anything. You'll be fine.
Bodie could help me drive. I would feel sick. I don't know. I have a mixed. It's just mixed emotions here. I don't really kind of want to go home because I don't want to. I like being able to ride right now, and I love it here. So it's hard to make the transition to going back home. I had to pack. Been dragging my feet because we're still up in the air on what's going to happen. So I have a lot of stuff that has to happen possibly, but not really sure.
You're like,
uh,
if I don't pack, I don't have to go back to the mud, and I can stay here until the Top Young Challenge.
yeah. So I'm trying to get my life in order, and you know what I think I get so sick of, and I'm sure that you can relate, especially like this show. The more you do it, the more you know what you absolutely need, the more you can downsize some of the things that you take with you, the more your give a shit of the amount of shit that you take with you decreases. Do you find that?
Oh
Because
yeah.
I'm like, why am
Well,
I hauling all this shit back and forth?
yes. And thankfully, Joel Brookshire is bringing a lot of things that I normally have to pack to Vegas in the USDPA trailer, so I got to pack a lot less things. James went up late last night after baseball. Because the same thing, right? Like you plan to get a lot of stuff done ahead of time, you do a lot of stuff ahead of time, and then it's like the day you have to leave, and I still have shit to pack when we get off here. So, yeah, but you learn like what you don't need, but then there's some things where you're like, I really needed that later. Thankfully, in Vegas, you're like 15 minutes away from everything. So if you need something, you can usually find
Go
it.
get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like,
I watch those, like we watch like a lot of the YouTube channels about like all the like the real like the real remote ranches. I shouldn't say real ranches, but like the real remote ranches where it's like, oh, I have to drive 6 hours and then we'll stay in the hotel and then we'll go to Costco and this. And they got all the freezers in the back, like all the ice chests in the back of their car. And I was like, I could never. I am not that organized.
no, I couldn't either. Not organized enough. Not, yeah. I don't know. I've done very minimal to prepare for my trip home. Um, at this point, the house is a disaster because there's literally, I started pulling stuff and putting it in piles and where it needs to go and all of that good stuff. But as I'm starting to do that, I'm like, I just, I've been pretty obsessive with taking things back and forth as far as clothing goes. I'm over that.
As I told
I
Dina,
am over that.
when she was getting ready to pack all of her stuff to go to your house, just order it on Amazon. It's not that important.
Correct. And in all reality, I mean, I only have like 6 pairs of jeans that I really love. Those are the only jeans I wear, even though I have a lot more than 6, but I only wear 6. Same thing with shirts, same thing with sweatshirts. I have a lot of them, but I only choose to wear a handful of them. So I don't know. Do you ever listen to anything about being a minimalist?
Yeah, I am not a minimalist.
I want to be one. I get closer and closer every day.
I I don't want to be one because I have an eclectic thing. But as far as packing, like I said, James and I can go away for 4 days and everything fits in a small duffel. So I don't think that
I don't know if I'll ever get to there, Remy. I mean, that sounds so extreme to me, but
but like it's to say I'm taking 2 horses to Vegas and I still packed like 12 bridles. So I I choose different things to carry around with me.
you're only taking 2.
For me, I mean I'm hauling 8.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
taking
Okay.
2 for me.
Got
So
it. Got it.
because I only own 2 finished horses.
You know, Brandon and I had this conversation last night, and tell me if I'm, well, I think that everybody has a different opinion about this too, but so the boys in my family seem to think that we can all share everything. I don't. Horses, in terms of horses, I don't like that. I There's not much in my life that I can call mine. I can't even call these horses mine, but I do like to claim them as mine when I find one that I like. And I do not want anybody else riding that horse, Remy, because I want it to be mine. And if somebody's going to get to put a lot of runs on it or something, I want it to be me if that's the one that I want. I don't want to switch stirrups around. I don't I don't want to worry about what somebody else is doing to the horse that I choose to ride. So I made mention last night that I'm going to ride this horse and this horse. And Brandon says, that's fine. I'm going to ride that one horse too. I'm like, no, no, actually, you're not. You're not going to ride that horse. And he proceeds to tell me, I don't understand why we just can't share. Because it never works out like that. It isn't sharing. It isn't sharing. By the time I get the horse, they're winded and they're tired, and that's not sharing, Remy. That's not sharing.
Uh, James and I tend to pick which ones we want, and we still swap back and forth because we joke about which horses are ours. So the black mare is supposed to be mine, the roan mare is supposed to be James, and he took them both to U.S. finals. And his roan mare is phenomenal, and she's phenomenal to sort on. But he rode my black mare almost the entire time in the penning, and I called him and I was like, I thought you brought her as your backup horse, which is more than fine. And I think James is only riding the open, so that's what he said. He's like, you can just ride both mares from the other classes. James and I used to play poker for horses, for ownership of horses amongst ourselves. So a lot of our horses traded hands of poker. So I mean, just between us, they didn't actually trade and change.
We're not doing that because I would lose. I don't know how to play poker, so
yeah. So
we're not.
It's true. And it's like James and I don't actually like the same style. We can ride the same horses, and the horses look different underneath us. But yes, it's nice to have something. And it's nice to have something that you don't have to worry about someone else putting their own quirks into. Because look, we all put quirks into our horses. I don't want to worry about someone else's quirks. I just want my own quirks.
I just want my own damn saddles on the horses. I want them to have my own saddles. I want them to be the ones that I ride, and I don't have to worry about what somebody else is doing to them. They can just be for me. And I'm happy with I usually only have one horse, but whatever. When I find something I like, then everybody else decides that they like it too.
So what you have to learn to do is like things that no one else likes. James's little brother used to always drink like when they came out with the clear Pepsi, right? It tastes horrible.
Oh,
And then salt and vinegar chips. And I'm talking to him one day. And I'm like, you like, I was like, look, no judgment if you really like it. And he goes, no. Because there's, James has 9 kids in his family, but I think at that time there was like 6 living at the house. Yeah, 6 living at the house. He's like, I like these things because no one else likes them. And I know that they will be mine. I was like,
good philosophy.
I was like, settle. That's cool. Like, settle for the things you don't like because you don't want to fight about it. But yes, the swapping horses is tough. We are now getting to the point where the boys will end up taking all of our nice horses. And yeah, I'll see how that goes. The saddle thing isn't an issue. Also, like, we're all the same size, so we ride the same saddle all the time. And all of our saddles are based on the saddle actually that Bronson rode in, or I think he rode in it. My old coats, they're all based on that saddle. So.
We do, like, my favorite saddle, nobody else likes to ride in it because it has it's a dark oil and it's new, so it's still like
Change pants.
Yeah. And everybody's like bitching about it, and I'm like, I really don't care. I like it. So
at night you go out and you just spray more oil on it. You're like,
yeah,
lick it.
What you guys don't like.
I have a married couple that is clients, and they have very nice horses. And her husband was riding one of them, so she came out for a lesson the other day, and she goes, I'm gonna lick it. It's gonna be mine. You can't touch it if I lick it.
Oh God.
It's
well, looking forward to a super fun weekend. It'll be good. I have a feeling a lot of our listeners and viewers will be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
It's gonna be a good time in Vegas, and then you have to figure out how to win in a building like that with a lot of people. We have a lot of stalls sold, and it's funny because like there's a good contingency from California, but a lot of Southern California is missing from this show. So
a lot of Canadians.
A lot of Canadians, a lot of guys from the Northwest.
A lot of Canadians.
It'll be fun. I don't know. I always like Vegas. Not just because we put it on. It's fun. I have yet to see another set of finals that matches the finals that we've had in Vegas. As far as like excitement and energy, because we get people that the best year, I don't think you guys were there that year. There's a cheerleading competition like at the same time. And they were all watching it on the TV, because you can watch if you haven't been to South Point, you can watch what's going on in the arenas on the TVs in their hotel rooms. So like finals night, we kind of advertised it just like over the loudspeaker. And I was in the back getting horses ready, and I come back out for the finals, and like the stands were packed with all the cheerleaders, all their moms. And I think we had some of the guys from the NCAA basketball tournament there, like packed.
That was going on last year.
Yeah, like so much fun because they're all these really hyper competitive people, and they're watching you be competitive, and like the energy in there is fantastic, and Rowdy's amazing on the music. So it's yeah, I have yet to see a set of finals, not just because I produced it, but I've yet to see a set of finals that is as exciting as Vegas.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to a fun weekend, and
hopefully you get to keep at least one of your horses, just yours this weekend.
Hopefully. We'll see.
No, I think it's again, we talked about it last week, right? It's the season of change for you. It's spring and leaving Arizona. For us, normally this is the restart of our show season. So we have Vegas, then we have Norco now in May, and our partner on the cattle, he's going to be here this week. And James goes, are you going to be here next week? And he's like, no, I'm gone for a while because he hits the rodeo trail. And I was like, oh, where are you going? And he's telling me it's all these Northern and California, Nevada rodeos, and then Lakeside, which is even farther south than our pastures. And I was like, man, that Lakeside really puts a kink in your whole circuit because you could just stay up north if it wasn't for that. But yeah, it's rodeos. It's the
It
season
is
for
the season
everything.
of change. You
It is.
know, fall and then spring, definitely notable times in the year because they are seasons of change, and it's all good. It's um, if we didn't have change, life would be pretty boring, right?
Uh,
And
yeah. Yes.
yes, it would. It would. We need change, so it's um, it's just all bittersweet, right? Because as when you make the change, you're leaving things behind that you really love, but you're going into things that you really love too. And same like for me when I'm using that as an example, when we come back here, it's hard to leave Minnesota because I really love that, and you for you don't forget about the things that you love in Arizona or vice versa. But it just takes some time for your memory to readjust and kick back in to where you left off there.
Well, I was watching Fallon Taylor's podcast with Clinton Anderson, right? And she was talking about that she's seen a lot of these people that, you know, they want to be successful rodeoing or barrel racing or whatever their sport is. And they want to do it on their heart horse, right? On this horse that they bred or they raised or they found and they love it. And she's like, and this is not the right animal. It doesn't mean it's like a bad animal. It's not the right animal for this. So I have that same kind of conversation with clients, and I've had it for a long time. Like, I just love this horse. And this is going to sound very bad. You will love whatever you win on, and they will make a new space in your heart. But again, you have to open that space for them to come in. And it's the same thing with new phases in your life, right? If you hold on to the past so tightly, you block yourself off from all the amazing things to come.
Yes, yes.
You know, because we're coming into branding and shipping season, like we've been branding here and there, but branding and shipping season, which are my favorite times of the year. Uh, and, but you know, I liked the rain too and the slowdown of the winter in general. And we'll ramp right back up. But I do. I like all those things, but it's one of those things too. You get comfortable, right? You're comfortable in Arizona now, or you were until everyone left you alone. And then,
Now I'm getting comfortable with that too. You know, it's like it's weird because it I don't know. Maybe life is just like that. Maybe life is just like that for everybody. The roller coaster. But it seems like a constant roller coaster, and I don't think it's just for me. I think it's probably everybody feels a little bit of that in their life. And
no, it's like, you know, you've seen the meme too, where it's like adulthood is looking both ways before you cross the street and then getting hit by an airplane,
hmm,
right? Because you're like, I know what to expect. I know what to expect. And then you're like, never expected that. That never crossed.
yeah.
And again, life is an unexpected adventure that you can only laugh at because there is nothing else to do about it.
I agree. I agree. Well, we said that we were going to make this one short today because Remy's got things that she's got to do. She's got to get on the road, and I've got to get outside, get on some horses before it gets too hot.
And you got to figure out what you're going to pack to take home with.
No, gosh. I don't even know what to say
What
about
if you
that.
just flew back and hung out at your lake and then just came back to Arizona?
I'm right. My horses have to get home somehow. Um, you know, and
They can just live in the heat.
I'm having like a panic attack because Brandon's like, I believe in you that you could get home from Vegas. And I'm like, I believe that I could get home from Arizona. I don't necessarily believe that I could get home from Vegas, Remy, because I have to travel through all the mountains and shit. And my stomach hurts thinking
But why
about.
don't you just go home through Arizona?
That's what I'm like. If I'm gonna do it, it'd probably be best that I left from Arizona. God, I'm like, Brandon, I can't believe that you would even say those words out of your mouth. Like, the furthest I've ever driven by myself is like 4 hours from home. And now I'm thinking about taking on a 24-hour trip with 4 dogs, 2 kids, and 6 horses. in a really long trailer. I'm
I
taking
believe
deep
in
breaths
you.
over here.
I believe in you. You can
I
do
know.
it. Uh,
Remy, I've had this pep talk with myself. Like, if I do this, people won't believe that I freaking just did this because I don't know. Like, I'm not sold on this yet that I'm going to do it by myself.
Look, it's the next great adventure. I will tell you, I do not like driving as much as I used to drive. Like, I used to be able to get in the truck and drive like 24 hours straight, no problem. And now I'm like, oh, that would be nice to sleep somewhere. But I never want to stop with horses. I just want to
Oh, no, we
drive
definitely have
though.
to make a stop, one stop at least with the horses. But, and we talked about this the other day. I talked with somebody else about it. This last week was my 2-year anniversary of quitting corporate America. I mean, when I was working corporate America, I was doing anywhere from 800 to 1,000 miles a week driving. I don't even know if I put on 200 miles a month myself driving now. I don't go I don't drive hardly anywhere. I mean, I drive into go grocery shopping, get the haircuts for the kids, do that kind of thing, but I'm not drive. I mean, I was putting on excessive amounts of miles. My life has changed drastically since then. I hardly drive.
Yeah, I mean, we drove. Well, you drove by my place. We have to drive everywhere, so I'm used to driving. I just don't want to make the long hauls like I used to make.
Well,
And
that's what I'm saying. I was making super long hauls, and
yeah, and
I my life is just different, much
yeah,
different.
we don't stop with the horses. I mean, we stop. We offer them water. Ours tend to not drink anyway because they're used to being ranch horses, so they just think it's another long day of doing something. But but it used to be fun to wake up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and drive all night to get somewhere. And now I'm like, Vegas is 4 hours away, and I'm like, man, I gotta.
Oh, that is nothing. That is close to
I
Fort
know it's nothing, but it's not a bad drive. But someone was telling me about a show in Colorado, like, oh, you should go, and I was the same, not because of fear, right? It's not a fear thing. I was like, I just don't want to drive through those mountains. I was like, I'll drive somewhere else. It's fine. I like to just drive straight for a long time. I don't know. I just also like my legs hurt now when I drive. I'm just getting old.
Go from I like to drive straight to then my legs.
Well, like James said it too. He's like my left leg from all the driving because James drives. It's
Brandon
50
gets the
miles.
same thing.
It's like 50 miles minimum to get to the one pasture. So it's like 100 and change to get to one pasture. That doesn't include you driving around inside the pasture, right? Because it's like round trip. And he's like, my left leg doesn't work anymore. And I was like, you need to go to the chiropractor. That's your sciatica. But again, right? Like all of that used to be a lot of fun. And now you're like,
your ideas of fun have changed.
It's even with the shows. Like Vegas is a lot of fun, right? But like I used to be so jacked to go to these shows. And now I'm like, it's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a lot of peopling. And it will be fun and that's what James and I talked about, right? Like for us, it's all the anticipation and the setup. Once your show gets running, it's easy. And I know a lot of other people that don't put on a lot of shows, and it's the opposite, right? They have no worries until the show gets started. Thursday morning, everything will be great. It's the next 2 days we got to get through before we
The setup. No,
the setup. Yeah, we got a lot of cattle to number. It's generally always windy outside when you try and number there.
Pretty cold.
Yeah, it's not even cold, and like South Point's got the arena and then the freeway, so it just makes like this wind tunnel where the cattle are. But we got stout Mexican steers coming. It's gonna be fun. The cattle are gonna be awesome.
Well, we're looking forward to it. I'll see you tomorrow sometime. And we'll see everybody. Hopefully, we see a lot of our viewers and listeners there as well. Yeah. Happy Easter to everybody.
Happy
Lovely.
Easter. Good luck in Vegas. Good luck with spring, everyone, if you are in the giant Midwestern thaw.
Yeah.
Because, when you watch cattle market reports, that's all they talk about is it's wet and now it's going to all melt. And we're going to deal with the same thing in California. We have historically dry lakes that are now flooded, and we haven't even hit snow melt. So living the dream. Just
living the dream. Well, safe travels to you today, Remy. And like I said, we said we were going to make this one short today because we both have things that have to be done.
mm-hmm.
But until next time, be bold,
Be brave,
be humble. Have a great day. Bye, Rem.
see you. Bye.